What a view high above Seminole Golf Club, one of the game's most revered venues and the latest site of the Walker Cup, the biennial match featuring the best amateurs in the world from the United States and Great Britain and Ireland, a tradition which began in 1922. We've got 4 foursomes matches out of the way this morning. We're in the midst of 8 singles matches to conclude day 1 of 2 days of competition, and you've got some pretty significant leads there for the United States. Ricky Castillo, the freshman of the year in college golf last year for Florida, 5 up with 5 to play on Ben Schmidt. William Mao 3 up over Jones. You've got Eckroat with a 2-up lead, and you've got Cole Hammer in the anchor match, 4 up through 8 over the Irishman Murphy. So the United States looking to show its firepower in these singles matches to close out this first day of competition as we go out to the 14th. Pick up Davis Thompson for birdie to win the hole.
Keep grinding until you run out of holes.
That's right. Mark Power had him 4 up, and now Power just 3 up with 4 to play. So Thompson is going to continue in scramble mode.
Now over at 10, Barkley Brown. This for birdie. Win the hole. Go 3 up in the match against John Pack. And bit of a surprise, but Brown's been up to the challenge this afternoon.
Great Britain and Ireland, 3. United States, 4. Great Britain and Ireland is 3 up.
This is the 11th, and Austin Eckroat for birdie to win the hole.
A little side winder here. Peel off to the right.
His opponent, Angus Flanagan, still has a par putt, as Eckroat is 2 up in that match. First match is at the beautiful 17th, and this has been a good one. You've got Alex Fitzpatrick and Pearson Coody of the United States all tied up as they look down the coastline of this beautiful par 3. It can play as much as almost 200 yards. Today, the tee has been moved up as Boninger with this match. 166 yards today, so a different type of shot.
Absolutely right. 166 yards of just flat out raw beauty out here alongside the Atlantic Ocean, and both these guys made 4s on the 16th hole. What's more interesting than that to me was they both had par putts inside of 2 feet, and neither putt was conceded. So getting very interesting and very tight in this match in the late stages.
Well, funny, on 15th hole they conceded the putts that were about 2.5 feet, but now on 16 they wouldn't do it, Bones. That's just shows you it's down to the nitty-gritty.
Coody, the 2nd-ranked amateur in the world. He was just recently the top-ranked amateur in the world, the grandson of Charles Coody, the 1971 Masters winner. Plays for Texas.
That's a 9-iron.
Overpulled it into this left to right wind, and that will leave a very dicey, very quick bunker shot.
Back at 11. 4 par to tie. We mentioned that Angus Flanagan had a par attempt left. This is it. And this to stay 2 down. So Eckroat still with the advantage in that match. The 6th of the 8 matches, and back at 17, the gritty Alex Fitzpatrick tees off.
This pulled also similar line. Same bunker.
That's a huge mistake there. Wow. It's a tough target. It's very narrow, very long green from back to front, but it's narrow.
And there's the chairman, Fred Ridley, here. Former Walker Cup player, U.S. amateur champion in his own right. It is a who's who of golf here assembled at Seminole Golf Club. So many ties to this event and to Seminole Golf Club through the years. There's a look at the board. Singles matches well underway. Again, the overall score is tied at 2 apiece in an event nearly 100 years old, steeped in the tradition of this great game, as well as one family in particular.
A 101 years ago, the president of the USGA had an idea. A competition to bring people around the world closer together through the game of golf. to being one of the best.
I made the Walker Cup team. Oh my gosh, that's pretty neat. I must be one of the 12 best amateurs in the country.
Today, for the first time, the Walker Cup has come to Seminole, one of golf's most hallowed grounds.
Playing overseas, in a way, you're kind of the underdog. Playing at home is awesome.
As a young 17-year-old, it was the first time I played competitive golf in America.
It was one of the greatest things I've been a part of.
As the finest amateur golf competition in the world, these matches reflect the soul of the game.
Take a win at 1-up.
Played in its purest form. And once again, this tournament brings us all a little closer together. It is with great pride that I welcome everybody to one of the world's great sporting traditions, the 48th Walker Cup match.
NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present the 48th Walker Cup match with uninterrupted coverage presented by Rolex. The great words from President George W. Bush, 43, who's been to the last 3 Walker Cups here U.S. stateside. He was here earlier, and he's watching this coverage, you can be sure of. Just so proud of the tradition that his family has been a part of. His father, the late President Bush, also came to a number of these Walker Cups. And being that it's at Seminole Golf Club, you take that along with the fact it's the first time it's ever been staged here in Florida. And the fact that Seminole Golf Club has really been only featured on television just for the second time. It is just a gorgeous sight to behold indeed. Temperatures in the low 80s, just a light sea breeze of 15 miles an hour. Joined by Paul Azinger here in the booth, Steve Burkowski, our resident college and amateur golf expert, Bones on the ground along with Nota Begay, Kurt Byram, Steve Sands handling the interviews. We've got our captain insider, 2-time Walker Cup captain and player Buddy Marucci, and we'll check in with Craig Winter if any rules situations come up. This was just earlier. This is Matthew Fitzpatrick in this tied up match at the 17th with Pearson Coody. And he did not like that bunker shot, Zing.
No, he didn't. You said Matthew, his brother. It's actually Alex.
Excuse me.
That's all right. That's $5 in the jar for all of us to share.
Now we're live.
An even tougher shot, and he's flown this one a little long also and needs to hang on to keep from going back through the green again. And Alex has come just a little bit unglued. That initial bunker shot just appeared to be a nervy one, in that it's late in the ball game, and certainly a very important shot, but his shot wasn't nearly as difficult as he made it look.
It can happen here at Seminole in a heartbeat, and Alex is feeling the heat a little bit at the 17th. This is our marquee match presented by Rolex as we focus in on Fitzpatrick and Coody. Talked about how highly ranked they are on the World Golf Amateur rankings, and Alex Fitzpatrick has been sent out first in each session, the last 2 Walker Cups, by Great Britain and Ireland. That's how highly they think of his game and his ability to kind of set the momentum for GB&I. As you look at the GB&I captain there, hoping that somehow his man can stay alive here and pull out maybe some magic at 18, but it looks like Pearson Coody is going to win this 17th hole, Bones.
It certainly does, and let's keep in mind that Alex is considered the real spark plug on this team, and that's part of the reason why he's out first. And the troops behind him, if you will, on the GB&I squad, they don't want to look up and see this guy lose his match, so he's got to really hang in there, find a way to make this putt, force Coody to ultimately make to win the hole. But this could set a real tone in terms of what goes on behind him with the following matches.
Alex got off to a great start, 2 up after 2. Excuse me, 2 up after 4. He's about to go 1 down.
Yeah, looks like it's just a matter of time here. He's going to.
Well, if you want a 15-footer to 2-putt at Seminole Golf Club this afternoon, this is it.
This is it.
Back uphill hill into the green. I understand why Alex didn't concede. He just wants Pearson to go through the motions here, hit 1 putt, and then go to 18T. But just gather yourself, trust your speed.
And this, if he's able to get it down to 2, could be his first lead in the match.
Yep, he's been behind the 8-ball all day long, and he just has played steady golf and let Alex make a mistake here and there.
Okay,
good enough.
Do it. And so Pearson Coody wins that 17th. Boy, has that been pivotal earlier today in the foursomes as well.
I'm gonna hand him my wedge.
Back at 11, we pick up John Pack, this for par to win the hole against Barkley Brown, who has that big 3-up lead. So John Pack, the impressive player from Florida State, who was the low amateur in last year's U.S. Open, cuts into the Barkley Brown lead.
Great Britain and Ireland.
At the par 5 15th, this is a birdie attempt for Davis Thompson to win the hole. Kurt.
And Mark Power, he hit his third shot over the green into the back bunker. He's got work left for par, so a really good opportunity for Davis Thompson to win back-to-back holes here. He could somehow keep turning this momentum and keep grinding, and you just never know.
No, it's just one shot at a time mode now for him. Get down like that.
I'll tell you, Paul, we've talked about these greens a lot here all day long. This 15th green just is glassy looking right now. It's starting to get that little brown tint to it. They are a real challenge this afternoon.
I think they're the nicest, fastest greens I've ever seen, to tell you the truth, Kurt.
They are so good. They're pure.
There's no imperfections really to deal with.
Boy, that is a missed opportunity.
Especially when you're 3 down, as we shift over to 18. And now Coody in control with a 1-up lead over Fitzpatrick. 456-yard par 4.
Yeah, tough fairway to hit. A lot of left to right wind, and this appears to be heading well right.
There's a couple bunkers, 3 bunkers actually over there, but you can.
Not really. I don't really know where I'm going.
Well, we've seen a ball earlier today played from the driving range.
Yes, just finish it there.
In a match that came down to this last hole. So this to tie the hole for Power on Davis Thompson and keep his 3-up lead.
Got to really hurt for Davis Thompson. This would be a great up and down, by the way, from that back bunker. He hit a very good bunker shot, and it's slightly uphill. There's really no fear in the speed here, so he can just go ahead and be aggressive and bury it.
Beautiful.
That's what he does. Yeah. Mark Power, 20-year-old from Kilkenny, Ireland, sophomore at Wake Forest.
McGinley showed up, gave him a little pep talk. It was like a vitamin B12 shot.
Great Britain and Ireland remains 3 up.
And his teammate at Wake Forest, Alex Fitzpatrick, off the tee at 18.
This flighted down up the left center. Got a lot of heat on it.
Thanks.
The question is, can it hit in the fairway and stay there without running through?
Just racing. Tell you, just a couple days, they received more than 2 inches of rain here at Seminole on Thursday night, but you can just see the course getting that old Seminole fire back the longer it goes on with these winds and the sun splash fairways and greens, turning one of the most difficult and challenging tracks into the real Seminole. 2-2 is the tie score, but we've got some red on the board there and some big leads for the United States. A couple of 4-up leads and a 5-up lead. Time now for this message from the United States Golf Association.
Welcome to the 48th Walker Cup match at Seminole Golf Club. I'm Mike Davis. We hope you're enjoying the uninterrupted coverage of this championship presented by Rolex. And we wanted to share a message about why we at the USGA love golf and are so excited about its future.
Golf has a power unlike any other sport. And not just because it gets us to set our alarms for 5 a.m. on a Saturday. It's good for us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's why every day on tees around the world, people from so many different walks of life will meet for the first time. And it's why we're so dedicated to helping golf achieve its full potential, growing and sharing it with as many people as possible for generations to come. Because we know the only thing better than what golf is what it can be.
It's been a great week so far here at Seminole Golf Club. Back out to the action. The green at 10. John Murphy 5 down in his match to Cole Hammer. This for par, though. Get one back. Got to start somewhere, Paul.
Yeah, you do. He's got to be in one shot at a time mode, and that's kind of what match play is all about. He's got to rely on Cole Hammer to make a few mistakes.
4, USA 5, USA is 4 up.
All right, over to the match, finishing up at 18. All of the foursome matches this morning went to 18, so we got a chance to see this hole 4 times.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. You know, when you come out and study a golf course at a match play event, you never know if you're going to get there. And it was weird this morning, but it was great.
I'll tell you what, gents, even the driving range is in mint condition out here at Seminole, because that's where Mr. Coody is playing his second from. It's a great angle from 150. Front right hole location, and you cannot miss short and right here. The ball will come back down off the green some 30 or 40 yards. So a very important club selection upcoming.
Well, Pearson Coody on this impressive list of Western Amateur champions. Cole Hammer won it a couple of years previous to Coody's win last year. Tiger Woods, Justin Leonard a couple of times when it was played at Point of Woods. Phil Mickelson a part of it. On and on it goes. One of the most prestigious amateur titles you can win in the world.
Yeah, I've played one time in the Western Am, and it was easily the best tournament that I'd ever played as an Am. Maybe not the most important, but it was a big one.
Really, you think it's that much? I mean, it's what I heard with it. That is true. We have at least 15 or 20 faces past it.
I think it's got to fly. I think it's got to fly 60 going.
Fly 60.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think 60 is great. I don't like 65.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Show good at it.
You gonna play that thing in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to start it pretty much right at it.
Well, that's perfect.
Well, here's the deal. You're one up, and you don't need to do anything special here. Just put it somewhere left of the flag if you can. He said he's going right at it. A miss right will end up in the bunker.
Well, they talked also about getting it deep into the green. This is right at it. Let's look at the club here.
Oh, what a play by Coody.
Wow, that should lock it up.
That's a little reminiscent of what Jake Bolton did in the morning foursomes in the anchor match. Remember his partner Angus Flanagan in the alternate shot put him in the driving range, and he went up and he hit a shot kind of like Coody just pulled off. Now that puts big time pressure on Fitzpatrick. One down. He's got to win this hole somehow, some way to scratch out a tie.
Yeah, what a gutsy shot by Pearson Coody, and now he's taking the European or the GBI superstar and going to maybe turn off the voice activation system. You know, he can be a great cheerleader if he comes out and wins this match or ties, but with a loss, it'll neutralize.
Got to get after it. Cutting it back towards the flag.
That's a nice shot, Bones. 2 clutch shots by 2 really good players.
Giving himself a chance. He's got to make that and hope that Pearson Coody's off the mark for his birdie to tie it.
This could be a huge emotional swing either way.
Alex Fitzpatrick is just amped up. He's really the polar opposite of his older brother Matthew Fitzpatrick, who you've probably seen numerous times in the PGA Tour and the European PGA Tour. I mean, he is just ready to go, very aggressive, gregarious personality. But what a shot by Pearson Coody, just pulled off in the driving range. This is what we were talking about. Jake Bolton, one of the alternates in a tight match against Stuart Hagestad and William Mao. His partner Flanagan put him into this spot, and Jake Bolton, who buried a par-saving putt at the previous hole at 17, does that with that back left hole location.
Yeah, incredible. The 2 iron shots he hit previous to that were way off the mark, and he just manned up there at the last.
And by the way, Jake Bolton is probably one and done. He was one of the alternates again with the COVID situation coming into this Walker Cup. That was the situation. For the first time, the alternates traveled to the site. and then the stomach bug breaks out. And so they make an agreement where, okay, you can go to the alternates and you can use them, take them back out. Now, if they needed Jake Bolton again, if one of the Great Britain and Ireland players got sick, they could put him back in. But as long as the players are feeling well enough, they stay in the original 10. But Jake Bolton taking advantage of his opportunity earlier today.
No doubt. And these, what a thrill for him to be able to play as an alternate, even though the circumstances were dreadful.
All right, must make here for Alex Fitzpatrick, Bones.
Absolutely right. And the question he's got to ask himself is certainly this is a putt you couldn't leave short if you tried. It is so glassy, so quick, downwind, down grain. He's certainly obviously got to pick his speed and then pick the line accordingly here. But it should go just a little bit to his right, and hats off to both these guys for hitting such amazing second shots at such a big moment.
Yeah, straight downhill like this, and that's all. That probably helped him a little bit, I would think. But we'll see. It's definitely going to move a little to his right, and you can see the grade here. This is blazing fast. It's pretty much got to have it.
And the hat is off. Pearson Coody with the first point on the board in the afternoon singles in a tough, close match throughout.
Yeah, a heartbreaker for Alex Fitzpatrick, who had a real hold on that match for a long time. He was 2 up, good amount. And boy, what a comeback, though, by Pearson Coody.
So as advertised, the second-ranked amateur in the world against the 12th-ranked amateur in the world. A 2-up victory for Pearson Coody. And the United States takes that 3-2 lead in the overall point total. This was a moment ago. Ben Schmidt second at the par 5 15th. 4 down to Ricky Castillo, and that's not how you stay in a match. Topping it through the bunker there, and it was over. So just like that, another point goes on the board for the U.S. So the first 2 points of the 8 singles matches goes the U.S. way. Coody and Castillo provide them. And that means it's a 4-2 lead for the United States. And they've got Mao 4 up with 4 to play. That looks like a winner against Ben Jones. Eckroat is in command over Flanagan, and Hammer has a huge lead over Murphy. So the United States is looking good this afternoon to take the lead into the second day big time.
Yep. The morning session is usually where Europe shines, and then in the singles is where the American depth comes through.
In this case, Great Britain and Ireland, and yep. You put $5 in the pot.
That's right. I did say that. Oh!
Well, you've got to build an excuse. You're a captain.
That's
Come
true.
on.
Over,
save us, Burko.
Yeah, over at 12. John Pack. How about that? Rolls that in for birdie.
Great Britain and Ireland 5.
He's only 1 down now.
United States 3.
Give it time. I'll be throwing $5 in some moment.
I established an over-under of 5.5 for me. How many times did I say Europe?
It's up to him.
I asked him. He said he loved it.
Okay, all right.
Great, Charlie Coody.
Charles Coody, 71 Master champion with his grandson there. What a moment that is.
I played a lot of golf with Charlie
Did
Coody
you?
when I first came on tour. I loved that man. Phenomenal player.
What memory they'll have there in the Coody family. We go to the green at 16. Mark Power. This for birdie. To win the match, get a much-needed point for Great Britain and Ireland.
And Burko, that's one of the great things about this event. You get all, not only just these former Walker Cup players and captains who have just flooded Seminole this week. You got Charles Coody involved as well. You've got the great family component of it, the ties to Seminole.
They're endless.
The entire 1974 team, the living members, came back and gathered this week for a reunion. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Gary
they all
Koch,
come
Curtis
back.
Strange, Dick Sidoroff, they're all here.
They still call it, and they go on to win major championships. They go on to win multiple times on the PGA Tour, and it still goes back to the Walker Cup as one of the most fondest memories, sometimes the best memory that they all have.
See what Power can do here at 16.
He has played some extremely confident golf. He took driver off this tee, cut it over the corner. He had 50 yards less than his opponent on his second shot in here.
Oh, that's a lovely effort.
Still moving. Boy, what a good putt that is right there.
Drop back to 13, the par 3. John Pack set to go. Oh yeah, John Pack. How about that?
Oh my gosh, wow.
He's catching fire. He's only one down to Barkley Brown. We go back to 16 with Davis Thompson.
It was an interesting decision. He really has a game plan for Seminole. Davis Thompson I'm talking about. He took iron off that tee despite being down 3. I sort of in my head I was kind of questioning why he didn't try to push it up there a little farther, because he obviously needed to make birdie here to win the hole. But here we are.
He's got to be a little shell-shocked, I would think, right out of the gate. Davis got behind early, has not been able to scratch his way back. And that's it.
There's the concession by Davis Thompson. So Mark Power from Great Britain and Ireland, 3-2 winner in match 2. Point on the board for Great Britain and Ireland this afternoon. Now 4-3. The American lead is just 1. And while we have a moment, let's go down to Steve Sands.
All right, Steve, thank you. With Pearson Coody and his grandfather, Charles Coody. We'll get to Grandpa in a second, but first let's start with the star of the show in this first match, getting that point for the United States. You didn't play this morning, Pearson. How hard was it to harness the energy and get out there today in the afternoon to compete?
It was, after being sick for about 24, 36 hours, I thought it'd be tough, but to say the club, it felt a little light this morning, or this afternoon. It was really easy to get going. It went all as smoothly as it could, being as sick as we all were a couple days ago.
What's it like having Grandpa here, watching you play in the Walker Cup?
It's the things he's accomplished in golf, and is everything that I want to be able to accomplish, so having him come to my tournaments is amazing. It's really special.
George, you did a lot of things in this game. What would you say it's like watching your grandson trying to compete at a high level versus when you were trying to win tournaments?
It was a lot easier to play. Everything, trying to watch people labor over a 5-foot putt, knowing what it, how difficult it is when the pressure's on and everything. And just watching this boy play is a real pleasure. He's a fighter.
Talking to Pearson, he has a lot of respect for you, not only love as a grandfather, but also all the things that you did in this sport. Are you a hands-on type of person when you are around Pearson and his game, or do you feel like the best approach for you is to take your foot off the gas?
I've kind of been asked to stay away a little bit, Steve, and so I obey the instructions.
There you go. We appreciate the time.
He's got a lot of natural ability, so I'll just let that natural ability take hold.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. We just found out why Charles Coody is one of the great interviews in the sport, Dan. It's fantastic. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Big win for the Coody family. And how about this? The par 3 contest. Pearson and his twin brother Parker caddying for grandfather Charles, the 1971 Masters winner at the par 3 contest. Look at that. 13.
Yep, par 3. Barkley Brown needs this for par. Pack is in close for birdie. It was just a short time ago. Barkley Brown had a 3-up lead, and this match is about to be tied.
You want to give Pac any kind of momentum. He's too good a player.
Uninterrupted coverage of the USGA Championships is presented by Rolex. So great to be at famed Seminole Golf Club for the 48th playing of the Walker Cup match. 4-3 U.S. with the 1-point lead. A couple of victories so far in the afternoon singles for the Americans. Mark Power picking up 1 for Great Britain and Ireland, but a lot of red on that left-hand side of the leaderboard for the U.S. Let's see if Great Britain and Ireland can mount a comeback like they did in the morning foursomes.
All right, William Mao for par to win the match on Ben Jones with a big lead just off the mark. This is a story in itself that William Mao is playing in this fourth match against Ben Jones, as Jones has a par attempt to extend the match. Tyler Strafacci, the reigning U.S. Amateur champion, was supposed to be in this slot about 20 minutes before his tee time. As he was trying to give it a go on the practice tee, he just decided he was too weak, too sick from that stomach bug that we've been talking about to go. So he said, "Go get him, William Mao."
Yes, he did. He gave him a thumbs up. He was screaming his name as they were pulling. Mao, Mao, good luck. Go get him. You know, what a difficult decision, though, for Tyler Strafacci to pull out.
Yeah, he was taken to the hospital to get fluids, and we understand that Tyler has made his way back to the golf course.
Yeah, he's spectating. I saw him a couple holes ago. Feeling a little better.
But it was an emotional scene out there. In fact, Tyler Strafacci was brought to tears, because you think about it. You play your whole amateur career.
There he is.
There he is, feeling good enough to pick his old buddy up, William Mao, and say, way to go.
Yeah, probably the hardest decision Strafacci's ever had to make was to sit for these afternoon matches. He'll get to play tomorrow.
And that was the scene. Strafacci on that practice tee trying to give it a go, brought to his knees out there, and then going over to William Mao. Just again, his tee time was a little after 3 o'clock, and then the family met with the medical experts. They were talking about what they needed to do, and they decided that Tyler would be taken to the hospital, get some fluids. He couldn't go. He said, it was the right decision I had to make for the team. And he had those words for William Mao, and William Mao picked up the slack and got the job done big time.
Yep.
I wasn't missing that. I had to leave the thing still on my arm.
We had some reports that Tyler Strafacci had lost 10 to 15 pounds. That seems like a lot, but this stomach bug was some serious stuff. Really hit everybody hard. This is Matty Lamb. 3 up in his match on Quade Cummins.
Whoa! This is going right, way right. That's short-sighted, especially if he gets in the rough. And yeah, he's got almost no chance.
That's the second shot at 15. As Lamb tries to stay in control of that match. And you can follow all the action from the 48th Walker Cup match, from live scoring to highlights to daily recaps and more, at walkercup.org, and join the conversation on social media using hashtag WalkerCup. Back to 15, and the answer for Quade Cummins.
Time for Quade to hit a good one. Door is open here. Oh, well, that's doable, actually.
Up at the par 5 14th, Kurt. We've got Eckroat here for eagle on one of the easiest holes here at Seminole.
Playing downwind, these guys are hitting 370-yard drives out here. So Seminole playing hard and fast right now. Eckroat's going to go first. Flanagan just off the edge of the green over there on the fringe. So both of them, you know, decent looks at eagle here.
So Flanagan will have a chance here, Kurt,
to win the hole, huh? Paul, it's similar to that putt we saw earlier from over here as far as what it's going to do. He just doesn't have to putt through as much of the fairway height grass over here. So it'll be a little easier, I think, speed-wise than Power had. But I'm sure he would like to die this in and see it go in.
He's got to give it a wide berth, too. It's going to go to the right. It's really all about the speed, though.
Didn't quite hit it. Tell you, Zing, you can get a little fragile out here. You can walk around on eggshells here at Seminole because these greens are so quick, and you just don't want to be that guy that runs that putt by and gives yourself some work, and then you leave it short like that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, 9 times out of 10, he'd hit a little 60-degree and just chip it up there close.
Yeah.
But in this situation, you know, that fringe just was like Velcro for him right there. When you're coming off a slower surface to something that's as grease lightning as these greens, it is a challenge.
And it's a challenge as we bring in Buddy Marucci, two-time Walker Cup captain and player. It's a challenge to try to turn around momentum in an event like this. You're the two-time captain. What kinds of things would you be telling your squad if you were Stuart Wilson trying to change the momentum right now?
Well, I think at this point they just have to try to salvage the points they can. Try to get 3 points this afternoon would be, I think, a victory at this moment. And then regroup tonight and figure out how they're going to get 3 points tomorrow morning. Just to get it, back in reasonable shape. They cannot afford to lose 6 points this afternoon. It would be really an uphill climb at that point.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. The American team is too strong. I mean, they came in heavy favorites. The GBI team really put on a clinic this morning in how to come back from a deep deficit in a Walker Cup. Managed to tie the matches, but right now the strength of the United States team is really kind of showing.
All right, Eckroat here for birdie to keep the 1-up lead with 4 to play. You're talking about matches. This is the one that you got to think you got to have. Flanagan turned this around on Austin Eckroat. 3-time All-American, not easy. Quality player, but he blows it by. And that's the one they need, buddy. And looks like Angus Flanagan is going to have a chance indeed here to win that match.
Go over at 12. Cole Hammer has this for birdie.
Straight up the hill into the breeze, and he's got to go. And he turned away from that right away, leading me to believe it was something of a mishit.
Here at the green at the par 4 12. John Murphy won the 10th to get 4 down. And Dan, you're sort of taking a look at that Angus Flanagan match as maybe something Great Britain and Ireland needs to have. It was 45 minutes ago. Barkley Brown was 3 up on John Pack, and all of a sudden Pack has now tied that one up. It just shows you how quickly it can change here, especially at Seminole, especially at the Walker Cup. John Murphy, fifth-year senior at Louisville University. In 2019, he won the Bearcat Invitational, a 3-shot victory over his Cardinal teammate, Matthias Schmid. And the trophy Paul Azinger has desperately wanted to bring home, the Dorado Beach Collegiate.
I have no idea.
One of the greatest trophies in golf,
yeah,
right
that's
there.
A good one.
See if Murphy can pick up another here at 12.
Well, you certainly can't count on Cole Hammer missing his putt for 4 here, so go ahead and give this a run, especially considering you're 4 down.
Yeah, you're right. This is an opportunity, and even if you miss it, Cole Hammer's struggling for par here. You got to give this a chance. Try to chip away. Cole Hammer's not going to make too many mistakes, I don't think. You're going to have to make birdies to beat him.
And I doubt that will be conceded.
Wasn't the boldest of efforts for John Murphy. Has to throw a coin down there. So we start moving our way through this back 9. Those concessions are a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah, that's a fact. I like watching the way this guy gets ready to hit a putt. He spends plenty of time there lining it up. He's very linear. He uses his line on the ball to make sure he's got it exactly where he wants to be so he can start it on the right path. Not everybody's linear. There's a bunch of non-linear players that don't use the line. But I think the best players do use it.
This guy is so experienced. He's extremely loose out here. Very curious how his teammate Pearson Coody did in match number 1 this afternoon in terms of being first out.
Hammer now for par 12.
No practice putt. No practice stroke, I should say.
And that's close to 4 feet and past the hole. And
quick moment to let you know, for all the golfers out there, you can book a round anytime in seconds at the #1 place to book tee times. Just download the free GolfNow app and visit golfnow.com today so you can go out and play. Hammer still away out here at 12, Bones?
I tell you what.
How long have they been playing this hole?
Oh, my goodness.
It's Seminole. It happens.
Yeah, you got the guy here in the maintenance crew looking to take the flag with him, and he's going to have to wait a little while longer.
So Hammer in 3-putt bogey at the 12th. Murphy, what, about 2.5, 3 feet to win the hole?
Yeah, but back up the hill, certainly one he can take the break out of, and, you know, 4 down. Getting into the second 9, he's got to make this.
Win at the 10th, another at the 12th for John Murphy. Now just 3 down to Cole Hammer, hanging in this one in the anchor match. And while we have a moment, let's go back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. With Tyler Strafacci, we can see the gauze and the bandage there on your right inside on your forearm there. You were in the hospital. You had to get 3 hours worth of IVs. How emotional have the last 12 hours or so been for you?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, I really want to contribute as a team member today. Been sick the last couple days. Really just felt like I couldn't give my all today. So I told Robbie, right as I was about to go out, I said, you got to send out Mal. Wasn't feeling up to it. So he got the job done for me, and I feel much better about it.
When you have to be so selfless and take yourself out of the mix, how difficult was that decision for you?
It was tough. I mean, I wanted to go out and compete. It's what I've been preparing my whole life for. It wasn't easy at all. Physically, I just couldn't have walked 18 holes today. I was just really out of it. And 3 IVs in, I feel much better now, so I'm ready for tomorrow.
When I came over here, we were chatting, and you said you feel much better than you did this morning and also this afternoon. So obviously the IVs have worked, and you should be good to go for tomorrow. But why was it so important for you to come out here and support your teammates after being in the hospital for 3 hours?
We're like a family. I mean, we wanted to come out today, or I wanted to come out and just support everyone here because I know they do the same thing for me.
I appreciate the time. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
All right.
So Tyler Strafacci feeling better after the hospital visit. So we're going to see him in his first Walker Cup match, you would presume, tomorrow. Will it be double duty in the foursomes and singles? Yep. Who knows?
Yeah, he might. It depends how he feels. I mean, what a nightmare scenario for all the guys. 8 Americans have had the stomach bug and have had to have IVs. 7 of the GBI players. Dan, it's unheard of, really. It's a miracle they're playing.
Uninterrupted coverage of this Walker Cup continues. Thanks to Rolex, 13 the action.
John Murphy's tee shot on the way.
Drawing back just right of the flag. This is a good looking line.
That's a
and club selection.
Great shot, John Murphy.
Wow, that's a gimme.
Fighting back.
Jump up to 15.
Matty Lamb has this par to tie and keep his 3-up lead over Quade Cummins. Not even close in that one. Look at that one get away. Wow. So Cummins cuts into the lead.
Now back at 13. Let's see what kind of answer Cole Hammer has.
You know, we talked about how loose he is, but it's certainly time to be a little concerned here when picking up. Hitting a 6-iron off the deck, and this is overhooked towards that left greenside bunker. Needs to get down.
Maybe a little break there, Paul?
Probably, but still.
Still nothing easy.
No.
Second for Angus Flanagan from 223, Kurt, at 15.
Yeah, Eckroat's just short and left of the green, so a little bit of an opening here, and he is also going to come up short. They're both on the upslope short.
That match is all tied up as we go back to 14. And John Pack for par. Barkley Brown has a birdie attempt. He comes right out of that, and that should be
Great Britain and Ireland.
the hole for Great Britain and Ireland, as you heard the announcement made there. So Pack was on that roll, and all of a sudden he's derailed again as Brown gets back up. 1 up with 4 to play.
It's just a natural ebb and flow of match play, isn't it? It's like a roller coaster ride of emotion.
Beautiful day here in Palm Beach County area. 48th Walker Cup being played for the first time in the state of Florida and the United States. With the first 4 points decided of the 8 singles matches, they took 3 of the 4, so that 2-2 tie has turned into a 5-3 advantage for the Americans. And again, we've got a couple of matches that remain that are tied up. You got Cole Hammer with a big 3-up lead over John Murphy, and Matty Lamb, though, with the advantage for Great Britain and Ireland in that 5th match. You make a Walker Cup team, not only do you get that family kind of atmosphere and that unforgettable experience with your teammates, these are some of the places you get to play. So it's on to the old course at St. Andrews. If that isn't enough, you come back stateside and play at Cypress Point in 2025. In fact, the Cypress Point people are out here scouting out the job that Seminole Golf Club has done here. Just spectacular scenery here on tap, not only here, but for the next couple of Walker Cups.
Make our way back down to the green at 13. The great tee shot by John Murphy has been conceded by Cole Hammer. So Murphy in with 2. So Hammer's got just one option here.
Yeah, no point in really being too concerned about the pace of this. You want to get it at a nice enough pace that it can go in, but it's really fast. Downwind. I mean, to hit this the right speed here, you'd have to barely land it out of that tall rough he's in and just kind of hobble it through that little bit of fringe. But he's got some loft here. His hands are back. He's going to try to cut the legs out. And now he's moved it back. He's going the other way. He's got to make it.
So Cole Hammer was 5 up through 9 holes in this match. John Murphy won 10, 12, and now 13. Has all the momentum and just 2 down now.
Great Britain and Ireland, 2.
Here we go to 15 for the 3rd shots in this match. Austin Eckroat and Angus Flanagan all square. Kurt?
Yeah, only about a yard between them. So it's very similar for both players here as far as the pitch shot that they have left. And Eckroat's going to go up and try to figure out a spot here. This whole location kind of sitting up on a knob there in that back right. Just figure out a spot to land this on and then how much it'll run.
You can see Eckroat there. Kurt is the favorite on paper. 11th ranked amateur in the world. 3-time All-American, now in his 4th year, junior year at Oklahoma State this spring.
You could pitch this low into the false front and run it a little bit more, or you could pitch up over that with a little bit of more spin. And up over. Boy, that needs to settle down.
I think he mishit it, Kurt.
He sure did, Paul.
It sounded like he drop kicked it just a hair, and that is the price you pay.
Had a little bloopy look to it.
Yep. You know, the shot value around here is extraordinary. I mean, and even on the chips and pitches, just like that, if you don't catch it just right, you're going to get punished.
Back to that beautiful tee, backed up against the ocean there at the par 5 14th.
Yeah, a bomber's dream here. You're just going to let out the shaft, swing about as hard as you can.
I tell you what, Zing, there's a penalty area out there about 400 yards off the tee. And you got to be careful, as crispy as it's getting this afternoon, not to really rip one and potentially hit it into that water that's supposed to be in play for the layup.
Well, the USGA's sole mission is to champion and advance the game for all golfers everywhere. To find out how the USGA is working with the entire golf community to lead golf forward, help it grow, see USGA.org. The USGA for all golf is and all it can be. So John Murphy just off the tee. Now Cole Hammer's turn. 3 up on Murphy. 2 up, I should say.
Starting it up the right edge. He does not like it.
Well, we got away with it. He'll be able to reach the green.
Back up to the next par 5, and it's Angus Flanagan's turn.
A little less loft. I think he's going to come in a little lower.
There we go. So a big advantage here for Flanagan here to win this hole on Austin Eckroat, who went over the green. And how about that? Western Amateur medalist Angus Flanagan, 2020. talked about that prestigious championship and all the great players who have put their names on that trophy. And here's Eckroat coming back up to the green with his fourth, just trickles it on.
It's so challenging because he knew if it got on the green with any speed, it would probably roll all the way off the front.
Well, the respective captains, you've got Nathaniel Crosby for the United States and Stuart Wilson for Great Britain and Ireland. He was one of those guys that stayed amateur, decided to take that route in the world of golf, but has some pretty good credentials in his resume. He won the amateur championship back in 2004. That was the big year. Got him into the Open Championship where he was the silver medalist, low amateur there. He was on the Walker Cup team in 2003, and that all led to this 2021 captaincy. And he and Nathaniel Crosby were both sick. We talked about it earlier. Yeah. Both those guys weren't with their teams on the golf course yesterday, the day before the Walker Cup. So it's been an unusual Walker Cup, to say the least, for all these players and coaches. Okay, Eckroat here, 4 par. And remember, Flanagan's in there tight with a birdie putt upcoming. So it looks like Flanagan's going to take a 1-up lead here, Kurt.
It does. You know, I've been thinking about Eckroat's third shot. That was a straightforward little pitch that he's done a million times. And I think that was just a little bit of pressure kicking in, and that was the reason he hit a poor shot there. Basically gave this hole away.
Yes, he did.
And all of a sudden, if you look at the matches, they're tightening up. You've got Flanagan here with a 1-up lead with 3 to play. You got Brown and Pack too close to call. You got Hammer, who's being pushed here by John Murphy down the stretch. So stay tuned.
And you've got Quade Cummins from the USA here at 16 to extend the match. 2 down against Matty Lamb. We talked so much about William Mao replacing Tyler Strafacci and picking up a point for his team. How about Matty Lamb? A similar situation. Joe Long, the amateur champ from 2020, was supposed to be in this spot. He was unable to go. Matty Lamb gets the nod at the 11th hour and maybe on the cusp of getting a point for his team.
Yeah, like Strafacci, Long was out there hitting balls. So you got the reigning amateur champion for GB&I and the reigning U.S. amateur champion both sitting out the opening day. Crazy stuff.
Great Britain and Ireland 4, United States of America 4. Great Britain and Ireland are 2 up.
Well, back up to the Brown Pack match. Noda, what's going on here?
Yeah, just right on the edge of his distance of his 3-wood, 280 to the front, drawing back into the wind.
Pack wasting no time, Noda.
Yeah, he's going to let this one rip, trying to hit it through the opening of that green. Did not get all of that one. It's going to come up well short.
It's a good miss.
So Brown 1-up in that match on John Pack after Pack looked like he was going to catch him and pass him. Suddenly, that is very tight, too close to call here. Back at 14, Murphy looking over his options with his second at this par 5, close to that tree.
He's got a good lie from 210 here, Dan, but he's got to wonder here whether or not he's going to catch this palm tree on his follow-through. It should not worry him in terms of the line that this golf ball is ultimately going to take. He's looking to land something about 2/3 of the way into the green and have it released towards the back where the flag sits. I think just more annoying than anything else in terms of what he's got to deal with.
Well, you want to extend, don't you? On every shot, you want to extend to the max. And you might not want to do that with that palm tree sitting there.
Yeah, he does look a little concerned here about what's going to happen. Picked it out of there nicely.
Yeah, good shot from there. The long bunker shot, but that's okay. It's a lot easier than missing over there pin high left, as we've seen. This is arguably the most difficult green in all of golf, really. I mean, it is just so severe from back to front. I've never seen anything like it.
Keep it right here for Hammer.
Big spot for him, having lost a couple of holes here. pull a good club here, give yourself a look at 3, put a lot of pressure on Murphy.
He's lost 3 of the last 4 holes, Bones.
Really good contact, cutting back towards the left center of the green.
Uh-oh, there it goes. We've seen players have all kinds of trouble from there.
So stay tuned for that one. Time now for Signature Moments presented by Rolex, and we're going to take you back to the 1995 Walker Cup staged in Wells. The U.S. team was headed by Alan Bratton. There was also a guy by the name of Buddy Marucci on that team. As we bring in Buddy to talk about this squad, which featured not only you, Buddy, but our own Notah Begay. Also, Tiger Woods was a part of it. How did this loaded squad lose to Great Britain and Ireland, Buddy? Come on.
Oh, we found it pretty easy. And we lost by a lot. Well, we had a great experience over there. We did not play our best golf, but I think Great Britain and Ireland had a great team. They had Padraig Harrington, Gordon Sherry, a number of great players. And
this guy was pretty good too, but
well, Tiger played well in spots and not in others, just like all of us. And you know, we were frustrated, but it was a great experience, my first time, and I learned a tremendous amount from Downing Gray, our captain. Could not have had a better experience with him, and he taught me how to do the job, which I'm eternally grateful for. But
as you can see there, the weather turned a little bit at one stage there. And Buddy, for those of us who might have forgotten, this was just 10 days after your U.S. amateur duel with Tiger Woods at Newport Country Club, where you took him to the brink, right?
Well, that's exactly right, and that was what a week that was. But in all fairness, that second day at the Walker Cup, you wouldn't have walked your dog. We had about 4.5 inches of rain and about 45 degrees, so that wasn't great for us, but it was a fantastic experience.
That is Barkley Brown with a pretty nice bunker shot at the par 5. And speaking of yesteryear, 1995, here is that team, which featured John Harris, Walker Cup stalwart. There's Padraig Harrington, who Buddy talked about back in September of 1995. As we get out to 15, with John Pack playing next. Notah, you were not even paired with your good pal Tiger Woods. I thought that was kind of one of the upsets of the week.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things maybe we would have gone a little bit different amongst other things. We didn't play very well, as Buddy said. They really took it to us. You got to give them all the credit in the world. Wonderful team that they put together. But just those relationships, like many of these young men will have here this week, you would just remember the members of your own team. You remember the members of the other team. I still have great relationships with Padraig Harrington and Gordon Sherry and players that played for GB&I, just because it's such a special moment in these young players' lives. And I hope a lot of these young guys here this week appreciate it.
Well, here's John Pack, who was the only unbeaten player at the last Walker Cup at Royal Liverpool. I mean, he just ran the table, had a magnificent experience, and one of the guys who brought experience for the American side into this Walker Cup.
He's a bit hot under the collar right now, not playing his best golf. Had a little bit of a loose up and down effort on the last hole, which led to him losing, and then hits his very poor pitch shot from 55 yards and not able to convert that putt there. So opening the door for Barkley Brown here.
And this could be a big turn for Great Britain and Ireland. Remember, Pack won those 3 holes in a row. He was 3 down. And then he came back, and then Brown won the 14th to regain that 1-up lead. And so now this for a 2-up lead.
And Brown's really been on a real hot streak. Won his first tournament over at Stanford. Just named All Pac-12 All Conference first team. So it's no surprise that he's found a good run of golf here today.
And you knew it'd only be a matter of time before Notah mentioned Stanford in the broadcast.
I had to get it in there, Danny.
2 up with 3 to play for Brown as we go back to 17. This is a par attempt for Matty Lamb, which would close out the match. Cummins is already in with par. And so this a potential big moment here for Lamb.
Well, it's huge. A chance to salvage a ½ a point if he misses this. He makes it. He can lock up the point.
Yeah, again, the guy that replaced Joe Long just before this singles match got underway.
Dan, you touched on it. The 4 matches remaining on the golf course. GB&I now up in 3 of them. They could find a way to go 6-6 at day's end. A huge, huge boost for them.
Boom. That one is over.
Wow. What a clutch putt.
Thanks very much.
Big win.
Huge win. You know, Buddy was talking just a few moments ago about getting 3 points.
America 3, Great Britain and Ireland
Could
win the
happen,
match,
but it
2-1.
also could be more. You've got Murphy, who's given Cole Hammer some pressure down the stretch here. So this is quite the turnaround. Similar, Zing, to what we saw in the morning foursomes.
Yeah, it sure is. It just shows you that GB&I team has a lot of spit and vinegar, a lot of moxie. These guys have all been sick. They're tired now, you know. And, yeah, it's impressive. You know, watching those guys prepare yesterday and the day before, you just knew that they were not going to be a pushover.
And there's Matty Lamb with the trophy in the 2020 North of England Amateur Championship. Yet another big-time title to his resume, which is growing. And it just grew here at this Walker Cup. He was 0-1 after losing the morning foursomes match, but you've got both guys that came off the bench, Mao for Strafacci and Lamb for Joe Long, who both put away points for their respective sides. Impressive. And this is Murphy for birdie at the 14th. Hammer's got a birdie putt as well, but this is the match we were talking about that Great Britain and Ireland could add to the mix here. But instead, Hammer will have another opportunity to up the lead. And Murphy knows how big a putt that was.
Yeah, it was a simple putt too, right edge, and he just tugged it a hair. He's still kicking himself.
Just ran out of the appropriate speed, and now Cole Hammer, who was in a pretty precarious situation there, should Murphy have made, has a chance to increase his lead.
Yeah, can you imagine had Murphy made that, the feeling that Cole Hammer would have completely different than this. Oh, a tie's better than a loss. He just wants to put holes in his pocket.
Yeah, he's just trying to hang on to this thing. You go 5 up through the first 9 holes like Cole Hammer did, and then have Murphy come back on you and provide some heat.
United States remains 2 up.
Hammer's just trying to keep it together here. And pull out this lone point in the final 4 matches for the United States. And while we have a moment, we send you back down to Steve.
All right, Dan, thank you with a victorious Matty. Now, you were saying that you were a last-second replacement. How challenging is that to be put on the spot and come right back out after playing in the morning this afternoon?
Captain Stewart told me that Joe was kind of still not feeling the best. So he just told me to get ready the same as I would normally if I was getting ready to play. So I kind of just took it as if I was playing, and if I didn't, then that would happen. But yeah, so I just kind of treated it like I would be playing anyway. So.
We were just talking to Tyler Strafacci. He's back from the hospital, wanted to come out and support the American team.
Yeah.
Has this illness craziness kind of brought everybody together a little bit more from your side with Great Britain and Ireland, kind of had a little bit more camaraderie to it?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously all the lads who aren't feeling the best, showing their efforts out here today and playing hard is obviously a massive thing on their back, and just hope everyone gets better as soon as possible.
I'm glad you're feeling well. We'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Congratulations on the point.
Yep, he never trailed in that match. John Murphy off the tee at the par 5 15th. 2 down to Cole Hammer.
And this is a big pull off the tee. It should find the fairway, but he will be a long way from the green. I'm not sure he can actually get there in 2, as big a tug as that was.
Yeah, he wanted to go up that left side, though, Bones, take the water out of play. But, yeah, he left himself miles back. We'll see if Cole Hammer follows him down that line or takes it to the right of the bunkers. Buddy Marucci told me that the locals call that, the members call that A1A up that left-hand side. It's the safer route. And he's definitely going up the left side, Bones.
Trying to use that left to right wind. See if he can carry that first diagonal bunker. Ooh, hits up in the palm trees and comes back towards the tee. And should have a second shot about the same length as his opponent.
There's Angus Flanagan at 16 to tie the hole.
Yeah, he was trying to get up and down from the bunker. Eckroat hit a tremendous first putt and was a gimme range for par.
Flanagan Flanagan getting a little extra work there on the green, which is allowed in match play. Tied with 2 to go, match 6. As a founding partner since 1997, the USGA has helped First Tee create experiences that build character in millions of kids through the game of golf. That legacy continues today. For more information on how to get your kids involved, go to firsttee.org. Go back to 16. John Pack getting ready to play.
Looking at 158, wind coming into his face a little off the right. Walls are closing in on him now. He needs to produce something to get back in this match.
He's got to get it to the center of the green, Noda, or to roll all the way back off.
And trying to work this in a little right to left, and it's turning just right of the hole.
Yeah, that's a fine shot. Not as close as he'd like it.
Standout at Florida State, 8 career collegiate victories. But let's go back to last fall at Winged Foot, the 2020 U.S. Open. And John Pack made a statement. Only amateur to make the cut on one of the sternest tests in major championship golf. Good shot there. Nice bounce, Dave.
Driving that short par 4 6th. Putting it on the edge of the green there. Different kind of U.S. Open, Burko. You know, no fans, just the volunteers of Winged Foot there. Of course, Bryson DeChambeau prevailed at 6 under. The next best scores were even. It was a tough, tough test, but John Pack ended up with that medal. Low amateur.
You're going to hit that great shot at 6. You better pay it off with the eagle. So you have a story to tell.
Correct.
Barkley Brown at 16. Safely aboard for Barkley. 2 up in that match, so good smart shot. We jump up to 17.
What a hole. Par 3 17. They've got the tees moved up today, as we mentioned earlier. It could play as much as close to 200 yards, 166.
Yep, they moved the tee up and the hole up to the front edge of this green. It is a tricky shot.
Boy, there is not much room for error. This is a 9-iron for Eckroat. That wind blowing in off the ocean.
I can't see.
To the right of it, this is going to be trouble.
Yep.
And Buddy Marucci, I asked you earlier what hole you thought would play the most difficult, or what has really played the most difficult over the years at Seminole, and you said, how about start with the par 3s and include 17 in there?
Left part of it. Yeah, there's no question in my mind that the par 3s at Seminole are the most challenging holes on the golf course, especially when the wind blows. 5 and 17 for sure. And of the 2, I think 17 is the most difficult, because when you miss the green on 17, you just don't have as much room to get the ball up and down. So this is as challenging as it can get.
Here's Flanagan.
There you go. 9-iron for him, left of it. The wind drifting it, not enough. Wrong club, or else a mishit.
Well, that will be treacherously fast. I'm not sure if he's got a good enough lie to get that close. But both players in trouble here at 17.
Well, remember the shot that Angus Flanagan hit on the dune here at 17 in the morning foursomes?
Might have to put a plaque up there where that thing came off.
Jake Bolton, his partner, paid it off with a long putt for par in a big match. Back at 15, this is Hammer's second.
282 to the front, trying to turn over a long iron and have it run out for him. Up the right side of the fairway. It's going to leave a tougher angle, but certainly a shot he should be able to get some spin on, considering he can use the wind to help get that done.
He really has a tough angle, Bums. That went a long way, and he's got to deal with that bunker.
16.
A couple of birdie putts upcoming. Noda, Barkley Brown, first to go.
Yeah, long look here, a little right to left, pretty flat. Seems fairly harmless at first glance. Just got to worry about the last part. It's going to swing a little right to left and have just a fraction of run out. So this putt's dying, should be maybe 6 to 10 inches out, just the right of the hole. It'll drift right back toward it.
Watching him warm up earlier, and he can flight his ball, Noda. He likes to hit all a variety of trajectories. Now can he just lag this thing up there? Yes, he can. That's beautiful.
How about make it?
That is a well-read putt and beautiful pace.
Noda talked about it earlier that Barkley Brown broke through in the winner's circle for the Stanford Cardinal earlier this season at the Wyoming Cowboy Classic, a 2-shot victory.
He likes the bucket hats. He's got one going here at the Walker Cup.
He's consistent, if nothing else. Now Pack, got to have it.
Yeah, he's really got to have it. You saw Brown's ball turn hard from right to left at the end. Kind of just gives you an indication that Pac from this angle just has to take into consideration the pace here. Get a little too bold, this thing runs out, and this whole thing could end right here on this green. Boy, I did not think it was going to run out that much. Just an indication of these subtleties that Buddy was talking about throughout the day. Just if you don't pick up on them, they'll sneak up on you.
Uninterrupted coverage of the 48th Walker Cup, presented by Rolex. Thrilled to be at Seminole Golf Club. Early evening on a Saturday, day 1 of the 48th playing of this Walker Cup match. John Pack back in the lineup. Has this for par at 16.
Just a tiny bit of right to left, little uphill. Just got to right center and just ram it in.
We'll keep moving along. Brown 2 up, 2 to go.
Great Britain and Ireland 4. United States 4. Great Britain and Ireland is 2 up with 2 holes to play.
All right, back here at 17. This is a much easier shot from the sand than Angus Flanagan had earlier today in the foursomes.
Wasn't that the truth? A little upslope here as well.
Boy, this has got to stop, though.
Yep, not to say it's easy, because on the other side you get it going and it will not stop.
Oh my goodness.
That's another reason why 17 is 17 here at Seminole. Back in another bunker on the other side. Wow. I mean, it looked great, Zing. I mean, it was a great touch. It looked like it might just trickle there and just go beyond the hole. But this was the match we were talking about. Stuart Hagestad and William Mount taking on Flanagan and the alternate Jake Bolton. Bolton put Flanagan in this position. And Zing, how hard was this shot?
I don't know how he did it with the amount of grade and the heel in play and the whole deal. It was so good. Fred Couples texted me and said that's impossible.
Of course he did. And so he left it, you know, a long way away. You know, but with the difficulty of the shot, he gave his guy, Jake Bolton, a chance to save the par. And Bolton, again, a part of the alternate squad here, paid it off. It was the first time that Flanagan and Bolton took the lead in the match, and they went on to oust Stuart Hagestad and William Mount later on at the 18th. Now here he is out of the sand, and this is unraveling this time.
Coming right back in.
Well, I think if you play Seminole enough, we've all been there and done that. This is part of the mystique, part of the makeup of the golf course.
Go back to 15 for Cole Hammer's third, Bones.
41 yards back into the breeze. Not a lot of green to work with, but that sounded really crisp.
Oh, Bones, what a shot. How did that stop that fast?
Well, who knows? Maybe some of these golfers will be Olympians someday as we get set for Tokyo. There's Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast who ever lived. And she's back for her final Olympics. What is going to be her curtain call in Tokyo?
Is she really the best? No doubt.
Text Terry Gannon. He'll tell you she's the greatest ever. All right, here's Murphy.
Tough wrangle here. He needs to show us some spin. Oh, and he does. That was heck of a shot.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
You know, that shot right there, you got to have your weight back a little bit, and that can't be on your left side and reverse pivot out of that one. That was beautiful.
All right, here's Eckroat with the advantage, with Flanagan going back and forth as it's 17th, so he just needs to get it up there, and it looks like he's going to put away this hole and take a one-up lead to the last.
It's been conceded because he doesn't even have the putter, so he's running to 18T now.
Yep, he's got the one-up lead. So U.S. leading 5-4. And if you haven't heard by now, uninterrupted coverage of the USGA Championship is presented by Rolex. It's great to have pure coverage, pure golf course, pure event. Best amateurs from Great Britain and Ireland and the United States facing off for the 48th Walker Cup. Hammer at the 15th for birdie. Looking to bring it back right to left. What a beautiful up and down.
Incredible up and down. That is a very tricky yardage, and he played a beauty. Put the pressure on his opponent, who responded. Now he's got to respond with a putt.
And he's got his close friend and teammate Pearson Coody out here following the match now. And big yelp from both of those guys. That was a huge moment for Cole, who's just looking for a little breathing room late in this match.
Yeah, no kidding. And what a clutch little finesse shot he played in there. Now John Murphy's got to answer.
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you say, this has got to go in terms of him maintaining this good momentum he's got on this second nine and staying within reach of Mr. Hammer. Wow, played very quickly, loved his read and executed.
Great Britain and Ireland.
Couple of impressive birdies at 15 by Hammer and Murphy as Cole keeps his 2-up lead with 3 to play. Well, time now for a message from the United States Golf Association about the 2021 Bob Jones Award winner to Bob Lewis.
Bob Lewis was our Walker Cup captain in 2005. Nigel Edwards had a putt that if it went in, we might not win the Walker Cup. Before Nigel hit his putt, Captain Lewis came over to those of us on the side of the green and said, hey, no matter what happens here, no cheering. He knew that the Walker Cup demanded the utmost sportsmanship, and he made sure that we as a team exemplified that sportsmanship.
If he was asked to do anything, he never hesitated. He always do whatever he could to help everybody, either in life or in the great game of golf.
Amongst the great people in this great game, Bob Lewis stands tall in every category.
And there's nobody more deserving than Bob Lewis to receive this Bob Jones Award.
Bob Lewis, with the honor and respect he has for the game and the integrity he brought to life, is a worthy recipient of the Bob Jones Award.
Well, you can just hear all the great respect that those gentlemen have for the late Bob Lewis, who passed away from cancer after a battle in March of this year. He had been named the Bob Jones Award winner just about a month and a half before that. And Buddy Marucci, I know you echo the great fondness that you heard from all those other people about Bob Lewis. He was quite the guy.
Well, Bob was just a tremendous human being, and you know, he was a fierce competitor. I loved playing with Bob and against him because he was so fierce on the golf course and so elegant off the golf course. And it was just a wonderful combination of a great competitor and a fine gentleman.
Barkley Brown coming out of the bunker at the 17th. By the way, Bob Lewis played at 4 straight Walker Cup teams in the 80s before captaining a couple of U.S. Walker Cup sides. All right, John Pack is next after a pretty good bunker shot there by Barkley Brown. And you talk about, on paper, Pack the big favorite, 4th ranked amateur in the world.
Yeah, he's got a real tough ask right here. Needs to hit a perfect shot. And nearly does.
He's got to win this hole now. 2 down with just 2 left here, so big time pressure on John Pack, the Florida State Seminole, who tied Nolan Henke's collegiate record at your alma mater, Paul Azinger, Florida State, with 8 wins now, tied with Henke.
8 wins in college. That's strong right there. Wow.
I know you could only carve out 2 victories in your 1 year at Florida State.
Yeah, but I won the Gator Invitational in Gainesville. Ooh. Being from Tallahassee.
That's a big one.
It was a big one. A lot of self-belief came with that, and I'm sure that John Pack has plenty of self-belief. What a career. What a college career.
Yeah, he seems like another one of those guys in this Walker Cup who's destined for big things in the next level.
Yeah, you get that feeling. You know, we keep looking at all these old Walker Cup teams, and then I just look at all the faces, and you see J.B. Holmes and Davis Love and Brian. All these tremendous players play Walker Cup, and they end up stalwarts on the PGA Tour. And we're watching the future right now, probably in John Pak, but he's in trouble. Barkley Brown has a putt to close him out right here.
Yes,
yeah,
he does.
He's in big time trouble, Zing, because this is not a difficult putt to read. And it shouldn't get away from him too much on speed, so control the nerve, just get it started just a tad outside the right edge and just let it drift over.
Oh, wow. That was left right from the get-go. And an opportunity for John Pak to get it to the 18th hole.
Trying to stay alive and get it there. We jump up there. We've got Eckroat here to play first.
In good shape. You got to take that false front out of play, though, and get it at least to the hole in this second shot. Up in the wind. Good line. Is it going to stay up there?
It's going to be close.
Ooh, it just rocked into that side.
What a
it
shot.
stayed there.
It's on the precipice, I would say, of disaster.
Eckroat has the one-up advantage on Angus Flanagan, who's got to hit a good one.
Well, he drew a perfect lie in this bunker. There is no excuse there. There is no sand around the back of the ball. He'll get on it cleanly. It's just a matter of pulling off a shot now. 128 to the hole. Again, take that false front out of play. Pretty good contact and a pretty good line here, Paul.
Oh, yes, it doesn't back up. I thought it would, but that's a beautiful shot. You can't ask for much more than that, I don't think, in those circumstances.
Back at 17, John Pak to extend it.
Confident?
Oh!
No. Wow. Just crushed. That's a huge win for Barkley Brown.
It is indeed another point for Great Britain and Ireland, and they are staying in this Walker Cup big time.
Drop back to 16. John Murphy getting ready for his second.
Yeah, playing from 157 and a chance to apply some pressure given the fact that Cole Hammer hit a poor tee shot into the right fairway bunker and has some palm trees to contend with. Sliding it down into the wind. This is pulled, though. Needs to go to avoid the left greenside bunker. But kicks back in.
Yeah, that's a big time miss. Didn't need that. When your opponent in trouble and you're sitting there 2 down, you got to get it on the green there.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Now Hammer.
Now he's certainly got a gap to take this right of a palm tree that's about 30 yards ahead, and that palm tree may block him from seeing the pin, actually, as skinny as it is. But he can send the ball out right of said tree and use the right to left wind to get the ball back on the putting surface.
Yeah, I think that would be the shot to play, Bones. It's pretty easy to clip a short iron and draw it out of these bunkers, especially with the wind off the right.
All of a sudden, the wind is really freshening out here.
It's just much harder to hit a cut around that tree. Uh-oh, he shanked it.
This is thin and low and warm. And that will be a brutal bunker shot in terms of dealing with speed.
While we have a moment, let's go back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Steve, thank you. With Barkley Brown, you lost in the morning match and then you win in the afternoon. What's it like playing team and then coming back in the afternoon right away as an individual?
Yeah, Alex and me this morning just never really got going. Foursomes, I think the start's really important. We just didn't hit that many good golf shots. So it's kind of tough to get going, but it was nice to be hitting every shot this afternoon. Fortunately, there was some good ones out there.
Yeah, job well done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You got it.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. We're tied at 5. We've got 2 matches remaining to wrap up this opening day. And where are they going to go? You've got Angus Flanagan trying to hang on here and scratch out a tie against Austin Eckroat.
Well, he's got it. And obviously, it's a very slippery putt. It's going to be right to left. But I would say there's a 99.9% chance that Austin Eckroat will not 3-putt. So it's pretty much a must-make here for Flanagan. Eckroat's just got it underneath the hole. There's no worry about the speed.
Angus Flanagan, senior at Minnesota. So many of these Great Britain and Ireland players playing college golf here in the United States. He was a third-team All-American last year as a junior for the Gophers. He's had a chance to get a taste of the PGA Tour. Played in the Tour's 3M Open. Missed the cut there, but his first appearance in the Walker Cup, just the second player from the University of Minnesota to be named as a player, joining John Hughes.
This angle here gives you a real good look at how severe this green is from back to front. And as Kurt said, this is treacherously fast, but he has to make it. And look how far out to the right he's playing it. He's just going to tap it.
And then look for the break. Down it comes.
Oh, fine effort. And still.
Great try.
Yeah.
This is one of those seminal putts, Zing, where you got to match speed, line, perfect pace together, and he almost got it done.
Yep. Fine effort.
So just a couple of putts for Austin Eckroat from this position to put another point on the board for the United States.
Dan, on the way up to the green, I walked near Eckroat. I said, you had me worried a little bit on that second shot. He said, you were worried. He said, I was just watching it in the air, just hoping it got there. He knew it was close to being short.
Well, he's in an enviable spot now, right up the hill. 2 putts to win the match, Kurt, and he deserves it. He's really, it was a grind for both players.
Yep, a little back and forth match, it looked like to me, and pretty good quality golf overall.
Yeah, Eckroat's lead today was never more than 2 up as Angus Flanagan battled back, tied the match up at 15, and then took Eckroat to the last hole. And while that was happening, this was Cole Hammer at 16.
His third from the bunker. Lone match remaining on the golf course. About all he could do there, Paul.
Well,
it might not be done yet.
No. It's history.
Wow.
You know, it's weird, too, because at no time, I guarantee at no time, did Cole Hammer think that was going off the green in the bunker. At no time. And then it just, because Buddy Marucci might have known.
Not the only guy or a broadcast crew or any of the players.
Now Murphy's third from that same bunker.
Great lie. He can use the wind to get it stopped. He wants to keep this short of the hole, and that's not the best leave. Incredibly quick coming back down the hill.
Well, with the USGA streaming app presented by Cisco, you can watch more than 500 hours of on-demand programming, including past Walker Cup telecasts featuring the game's future stars and all the guys we've been talking about so far today, and every U.S. Open final round since 1970. The USGA streaming app is free and available in the app and channel stores on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. It is a wealth of information. If you want to nerd out as a golf fan, it's great stuff.
Hammer's fourth.
A lot of heat on this shot, but he pulls it off perfectly and puts the heat right back on Murphy now, who has an incredibly quick putt for par.
Yep,
and he basically has to lag it, or he could literally putt it back off the green to the bunker he just played from.
So Hammer in with 5. Western Amateur champion 3 years ago, 2018. His teammate at Texas, Pearson Coody, winning that prestigious amateur event last year. Tiger, Justin, Phil, a who's who on that list of past Western Amateur champions. Now Murphy, as you said, Bones, slick, but for par to win the hole.
Well, yeah, it's certainly to win the hole. I mean, I feel certainly made a mistake in terms of his third coming out of that bunker. He had to go for it a little more than he did and try and leave the ball short of the hole. But again, I mean, this is an absolute lag from some 8 feet, and if you get just a little bit frisky with this, you could knock it off the green.
that remaining. Cole Hammer, he heard him say that's good, so a couple of bogeys there at 16. A great opportunity for Murphy missed as we go back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Steve Burkowski, you know this well. It's fun and nerve-wracking, and here we are with Austin on the 18th. You just earned another point for the United States, and you were talking about that balance. How do you take care of business when what's going on inside is not what it looks like on the outside?
Right. I mean, this week's a lot of fun, you know, and then getting here Monday or Sunday when we got here, you're having a blast, and then just lights are on, and it's completely different. I mean, coming down the stretch on 16, 17, 18, it felt like a national championship. I mean, I was nervous, you know, playing against Angus, and it's really hard to get yourself in that mindset. But I mean, this tournament, it brings it out.
Nerves just mean you care. Nice job, Austin.
Exactly. Thank you.
Let's go back out to 17 again.
Yep, that's what this competition will do to you. Biggest event that these guys have ever played in. Just add it all up. The team atmosphere, the tradition, the history of this event.
The guy in the pink shorts. Okay.
So the lone matches arrived here at 17. John Murphy getting instructions from another one of the local caddies here at Seminole.
And Danny's got to be kicking himself a little bit to make 5 on the last hole at this point in the match, given he gets such a perfect tee shot. He's got to really annoy him, but settle down here, hit reset, and let's pull a good club here from 166. Trying to use that left to right wind. This is a good line if he can get the ball stopped. Oh my goodness, but he comes up a club short. That had to be some kind of mishit there.
You can play out of that bunker, I believe. Should be on that upslope. Should be able to do better than Pac did.
Yeah. If you're just joining us,
like that? Is that the camera guy? Camera guy? I can go just a couple left of that. Yeah.
This lone remaining match has been wild. Cole Hammer built a 5-up lead through 9. John Murphy battled back to cut it to this current deficit that it's in. 2 up for Cole Hammer with 2 to play.
So many of his teammates out here rooting him on. Cutting into the left center of the green. But that also comes up short. And ultimately is held up by the rake.
Wow, that will be interesting to say the least. Very, very fast. He's going to get to place it there, I think.
Well, time for our Rolex Championship recap as we take a look back at some of the recent history here in the Walker Cup. Again, this is an event that was just dominated by the Americans, but since 1989, it's 9-7 U.S. advantage. As you look at some of the final tallies there, Great Britain and Ireland pulling off the win in 2015. U.S. coming back at LACC with a convincing win. And then Nathaniel Crosby's first Walker Cup team coming back in the final session of singles to pull out the comeback win in the final singles session. And this is the lineup again tomorrow. The only thing different, as we're on Peacock at the start of both sessions and then concluding both sessions on Golf Channel, is that there's 10 singles matches tomorrow instead of the 8 singles matches today. So the United States, since they won the previous competition 2 years ago, needs 13 points to retain the cup. GB and I 13.5 to get it back. Yep, that kind of day. It's just a gorgeous Saturday here. There's Paul McGinley right there with the Great Britain and Ireland side.
We felt like it was down off the tee.
It's nice to see those guys eating. They haven't eaten for 2 days.
And there is McGinley, who you're very familiar with, Zinger, in past Ryder Cup battles.
Bumped heads with Paul several times. He's a tremendous guy. Just love him.
Yep. Very likable. Big fan of the game. And we're not sure who is going to play first here at 17 as we bring in Craig Winter of the USGA. How are they going to determine this one, Craig? Just measure it out.
yeah, Dan, they may step it off. They may just eyeball it. And if they can't figure it out, they'll actually just, they're allowed to decide by agreement.
Murphy now ready to play first. Very clean lie. He does have enough green work with it to get this ball close to the hole, but again, he's going to have to play an aggressive shot. He can only pitch this ball probably a yard or two over the front edge of the green and let it release on from there.
Yeah, you're right. He's got to play it to go to the right as well. If he misses this to the right of the flag bones, it could trickle off. So he's proven he's got killer hands. That shot he hit on 15 was pretty clever. He needs to do it again right here. He's got to get this just right.
Caught way too much golf ball, and this needs to hang on.
If that wants to go off to the left, that huge tilt is. It is not going to make it.
I don't think it's going to stop, Dan.
No, it's not going to stop.
Well, now, if you're Cole Hammer, what do? You just bump it, try to get it just on the green, I think.
That's exactly right. You got to expect Cole Hammer now to play, if he plays next, to keep his ball short of the hole. But I believe it's going to be Murphy to play his third before Hammer plays his second.
John Murphy needs a little luck of the Irish here as he is 2 down to Hammer.
Yeah, you would think this match is probably technically over, although not officially. You never know what kind of magic Murphy might have in those hands of his. You see what Cole Hammer has to deal with. He could putt it up left of those sprinkler heads if he wanted, if he didn't feel like chipping it.
Yeah, that's a great pull. I was thinking that too. I think that, you know, Cole needs to kind of keep his head in the game, and that because he can't putt it, he's still got to chip it. There's still an element of danger involved in his second shot. It would be much easier if he could just putt it up to the shortcut on the green, onto the green and intentionally leave it short, but he doesn't have that luxury. He'll have to pitch the ball.
He's got a chance to make a 4, and that really does force Cole Hammer to play a nice shot. He can't afford to do anything silly here.
Yeah, all Hammer needs is a tie here to put it away, but Murphy, a redshirt senior at Louisville, just scratching and clawing, trying to stay in this thing somehow, some way. Some crazier things happen, but maybe that is the best play. But he's got a wedge in his hand here.
Yeah, Bones was right. Just because of the lie, now he's got a 1 or 2 hops into that fringe. If it doesn't get to the front of the green, it's going off into the bunker.
That's right. All the danger is past the flag here for Cole, so he's got to hit something of a lag chip here.
1 or 2 hops through that sticky stuff. Just a 1 hopper. Will it stop?
Oh. Okay, that's a yard from run up there and throw a mark on it, young man. And there we got a handshake.
Yep, final point on the board of this first day of the 48th Walker Cup goes to the United States. And a long opening day comes to a conclusion.
Yeah, it was a real marathon for the players. They're all sick. They're finally starting to eat and rehydrate a little bit after just a brutal 2 days, Dan. We saw some quality golf, considering every one of these guys had to go to the emergency room, receive IVs, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it wasn't anything minor about the stomach bug. Whoever got hit by it really got hit. And it took a lot of energy out of a lot of guys. Some guys came back here today. As we mentioned earlier, Tyler Strafacci, the U.S. Amateur champion, not able to play today, but he says he is a go for tomorrow as the U.S. takes a 7-5 lead in the first day of the Walker Cup. Let's take a look now at the iconic venues presented by Rolex.
When you talk about iconic or you talk about mystique, some of the real mystique of Seminole came from Ben Hogan being here, playing and practicing prior to the Masters. I mean, that's the first time the public really even heard of Seminole.
You get this feeling that that history has been created here, and that time kind of stands still when you walk inside.
Everything is simple, and it's a classic Donald Ross design. Don't short side yourself. And when you add in the wind, which we hope we have, it's all about your second shot.
Seminole is really a shot maker's golf course.
You can't just fire at the pin. You know, the youth and our players would dictate that they go at every pin. And that's fine as long as they can get it up and down out of the bunkers when they make a mistake. But it'll bring out the best players who have an overall well-rounded game. They're going to have to putt well. They're going to have to play the sand. There's no advantage to any particular type of game. I think it's a very fair golf course, and it is a thinking golf course.
Well, let's bring in the 7-time Seminole Golf Club champion to kind of reiterate, I guess, some of those thoughts, buddy. You agree with all the comments there about your fellow members?
Well, certainly I do, Dan, and I couldn't be more in agreement with Vinny and Spider regarding the shot making that's required. And I think you saw a lot of that today. And certainly in these bunker shots that are being played, you know, traditionally, you know, as good players, we like to go in there and put a lot of speed on these bunker shots and try to spin the ball. And, you know, at Seminole, that's really not effective. You know, you know the ball's going to release, and you have to find your spot and kind of let it release. Now, sometimes you don't have a lot of room, but really concentrating on where you want the ball to land and not trying to hit your normal shot is probably going to be more effective. And I think we saw a few of those bunker shots go awry in the closing moments here, and these guys, you know, they need to maybe make that adjustment. But certainly the driving on the golf course is a little forgiving. And from there on, as you've noticed today, positioning and shot making is really critical. You don't always go for the flagstick. Middle of the green is a very good place to be on most of these greens. And if you do that, you can be successful.
And if the going gets tough, buddy, you can just take a look at the scenery, because this is about as good a weather day as you're going to find here at Seminole. And as we get ready to wrap things up here, let's send it down to Steve Sands.
Dan, thank you here at the 17th green with Cole Hammer. Another point for the American side. But you said, jokingly with a smile on your face, man, I made it difficult on myself. You were 5 up at one point. How would you define how difficult it is to close out one of these matches?
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, golf is pretty hard, and you can't play perfect golf all day long. And I got off to a hot start, hit it tight on 1 and birdied 2, and 2 up through 2, and then kind of got on a heater on 6 through 9, and got to 5 up, and kind of felt like I was coasting at that point. And next thing you know, I make bogey on 10, and he's kind of right back in it. And luckily, I was able to make a nice 10-footer on 15 for birdie that really kind of set up my last couple holes, and then had to get up and down here.
It's been a wild couple of days for both teams. From the player perspective, we're going to talk to your captain in a couple of minutes. From the player perspective, you're one of the leaders of the American side. What have you said? What message have you given the guys to stay up in this down moment with all the sickness?
Well, I'm not going to lie, it's been hard. We were kind of dropping like dominoes there for a second, and no one knew who was going to be next, and it was hard. You know, we fought so hard for the last 2 years to make this team, and to have some guys, you know, not be able to play because they're sick was tough, but we rallied around each other and told ourselves that we were going to put out the best guys, and we were going to do our best to get it done. So obviously it's not the situation we wanted to be in, but I feel like we made the most of it.
We know how talented you guys are from the collarbones down, but after the tests you guys have had these first couple of days here in this area, and the sickness and the game and the golf course, trying to learn it, and the pressure of trying to win a Walker Cup, what does it say about your mental fortitude, all of you guys?
You know what, I think it gives us a lot of confidence. We've handled adversity well this week. I mean, we've been thrown a bunch of punches from different directions, and we've handled it pretty darn well. And I think it's going to help us a lot going forward, and for us to kind of perform the way we did on the course today shows a lot about each and every one of the guys on the team, and I'm super proud of the guys. It was a great day.
Congratulations on the point. Dan, you can see, as eloquent as he is, why he's one of the leaders of this United States team.
Certainly did it with his golf clubs as well, Steve. As you saw the graphic there, Ricky Castillo and Cole Hammer, both 2-0 in their matches today in the morning foursomes and the singles. And the Walker Cup venues, we've talked a lot about it so far this week, Zing. It does not get any better than the places that these guys get a chance to play. We're headed to the old course at St. Andrews, then Cypress Point, and the next 2 Walker Cups.
It's nice to see the USGA get back to the traditional courses that we're used to seeing. They got a little off track there for a while, but boy, what a lineup that is.
As we send you back down to Steve.
As promised, Nathaniel Crosby, the American captain. You have a smile on your face. 7-5 after one day here in this 48th edition of the Walker Cup. Nathaniel, how would you assess the way your team has progressed through this first day?
You know, a lot of ups and downs. It's just amazing that we're actually playing this match with everything that happened to us this past week. And if it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't be here with 2 alternates. And we were able to play one this morning due to 3 guys getting sick yesterday. So it's just amazing that we're playing it all, and a narrow lead going into the second day.
So what does that mean strategically for you as you get your lineup set for tomorrow morning?
I just whip them hard each and every morning and see what happens. A lot of insults.
Oh, come
They
on
take
now.
it well. They take it well. They're getting callous, getting used to the new approach. But they're a great bunch of guys, and the best part about this whole experience for me has been getting to know them over the last 3-4 years and watching them with their triumphs and tragedies in other tournaments, and getting to know their parents, because the galleries are scarce at these events. So getting to know the families and the players, and really being an extension of their support network. And then ultimately when they get picked, you know, we're all familiar with each other, and it's sad when they lose, but it's great when they win, and hopefully we'll carry the day tomorrow.
You talked about getting to know the parents. For you, this is almost like a parental experience. These guys are so young. They're just getting their amateur careers on the back end, and hopefully for some of them, the professional careers getting going here pretty soon. So how do you know when to hug them a little bit, and also when to kind of get on them a little bit, to get that motivation out there to come back here with a victory at Seminole?
Well, I'm not a parent, and you know, I offer hugs. But basically, it's just win, baby. You know, that's okay. You know, I try to keep it simple and get them to stay focused. But there's no Knute Rockne lingo in my repertoire. But just a lot of encouragement. They know that I'm behind them. And I think when John Pak was 2 down with 3 to play at Liverpool, I grabbed him by the ears and said, "You're going to win this match," and he won the last 2 holes. So I think that's my approach. Just grab them by the ears.
We appreciate the time.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks so much.
I think Al Davis would love the just win, baby, Dan.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Steve. Notable U.S. Walker Cup captains. Second captaincy here for Nathaniel Crosby. Francis Ouimet churned out some winning teams. Jay Sigel, one of the best to ever be a part of this competition. Fred Ridley, chairman now at Augusta National, U.S. amateur champion in his own right. Vinnie Giles. Buddy Marucci, who's been with us for the telecast, 2-time captain and 2-time player. You know, once you're part of this Walker Cup family thing, it lasts a lifetime.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that this week with the whole all the survivors of the 1974 team came together. Curtis Strange and those guys, they love this event. Jerry Pate says that he's come to every single one since he played in this competition years ago.
Yeah.
They love it.
They all come back. That's a beautiful ride down the coastline here. Approaching sunset here in Juno Beach, Florida. And look at that nice view of 18. It is a special spot, especially from high above. Back down to you, Steve.
All right, Dan, thank you. Will Stewart, he is the captain from the Great Britain and Ireland team, and down 5-7 now. 7-5 the Americans lead after the first day. What are your thoughts after what you've seen so far?
Yeah, obviously it's been a hard-fought day. The foursomes were all very tight going up the last hole. I think that's kind of reflected on the whole match, really. I think the result's probably tighter than it would suggest. I think the guys are doing a great job. But if they could just tighten up on a couple of little things, I think it'll be all to play for tomorrow.
As a player in 2003, you won a couple of points for the GB&I team in a victory that year. That was 18 years ago. Now you're the captain. What's the difference between competing and being the captain and watching the guys compete?
That's a good question. I think I'd probably still like to be in the team, to be fair. I think watching them play, it would be great. But it's a special thing to be asked to be captain, without a doubt, especially with the Walker Cup. It's such a great match, and we're having such a good time with both teams and getting to know Nathaniel and things. It's what the match is all about. So good, friendly competition. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the role of captain, and I'll be sad when it's over come Sunday, but we've still got a whole job to focus on and get the job done.
Speaking of focusing on that job, what will your message be to the guys before they go out on Sunday?
Yeah, well, it's probably been the same as it has been all week. You know, we've been talking about a number of things that are key messages, and they've applied some of it, I would say, today. But there's still some of it that they need, like I say, sharpen up on a few things. Number 17 was playing really tough today. I didn't see anybody hit the green, and just wee things like that to keep the momentum going and hit the greens and hold the putts, basically. It's always come down to the putting.
We were chatting a little bit earlier, maybe a couple hours ago, and Paul McGinley came by. He's a Ryder Cup legend.
Yeah,
he's been a captain. You guys were chatting a little bit as well, so I kind of got out of the way to let you guys talk business. How much do you lean on a veteran like a Paul McGinley or other people who you know in the game who have been in this position before, so that you can excel in your spot to put your guys in the best position they can be in to pull off an upset victory?
Okay, yeah, so Paul was Walker Cup player as well, and then he obviously went on to use that as a stepping stone onto greater things, and he came down earlier in the week to walk a few holes with the guys and chat to them. And I think whether it's Ryder Cup, Walker Cup, anything like that, the messaging's always the same for these team events. And yeah, it was a great resource to have Paul there, and to see him out today as well supporting us, it was really nice of him to come along.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Dan, let's go back to you.
Thanks, Steve. We talked about Stewart being a good player in his own right, winning the amateur championship in 2004 at St. Andrews. He beat a guy by the name of Francesco Molinari in the quarterfinals to win that title. As you take a look at notable Walker Cup venues on the other side of the pond, still the best venues you could possibly put together in all the world, Zing.
What a schedule that they have lined up for this competition. Well, incredible.
Well, let's get more of an idea of how tough this golf course played today and how it'll play tomorrow. And specifically, we go down to Kurt Byram at 18, who stands by that beautiful coastline. Kurt?
I am, and I'm standing just off the back left of this green, where tomorrow at some point, I'm assuming, this question's for Buddy Marucci, they're going to have a flag stick back here, either in the morning session or the afternoon. And Buddy, as firm as the greens are getting and as fast as they are, it wouldn't be a surprise to see a player in this back bunker. You're one up in your match. Do you play towards a hole, or do you play down the length of the green and hope you can win the match that way?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think you may see some balls in the back bunker tomorrow. And I suspect that the hole will be back. I think if you get in that back bunker, if you get a good enough lie and you can just splash it out, you have a chance to go for the hole. Otherwise, I think you have to use the side of the green to kind of guard against rolling too far past.
That's the one right there. You go at the pin, you make a mistake, it's off the other side.
Okay, so one of the key matches to start things off, you talk about matches and sessions setting the tone. It was Alex Fitzpatrick, who's been sent out by Stuart Wilson in every single session to lead it off, against Pearson Coody. This featured GB&I's best player, 12th ranked in the World Golf Amateur rankings, and look at that putt by Alex Fitzpatrick. And then Fitzpatrick second at the 17th. Again, this was a nip and tuck battle. Fitzpatrick had the 2-up lead, and then they were all tied before it started to come unraveled, Zing, on Fitzpatrick at 17.
I think these are the most difficult bunkers to play from about anywhere I've ever been.
So Pearson Coody won the 17th to grab that 1-up lead, and then here he was from the driving range, well right of the fairway at 18.
This is an incredible shot up the hill, left to right wind.
And so Pearson Coody was able to hang on for a 2-up lead. And this match, Bones, as you followed it earlier today, really came off as advertised. Two of the best on either side putting on a show for us.
No question about it, Dan. What a job by Pearson Coody, especially after having to sit out the morning session. plays a solid round of golf against his opponent. Of course, the great shot on 18 from the driving range that you guys showed and mentioned. But what I'm very interested to see tomorrow morning is Alex Fitzpatrick. If the GB&I team is going to come back relative to this 2-point deficit tomorrow, I think Fitzpatrick has to be a huge part of it. He's their spark plug, and I think tomorrow morning he's going to come out on fire.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any doubt that Fitzpatrick's going to be the leadoff guy in the morning foursomes. Zing Still, we talked about how heavily favored this U.S. squad has been. I think with the score right now 7-5, GB&I and Stuart Wilson still have to feel pretty good about where they are. This thing has not gotten away from them by any measure.
And it could have. It could have gotten away from them actually even in the morning or this afternoon, but it didn't. You're right. And these guys, the GBI guys, don't underestimate them. They have a little chip on their shoulder, I imagine, about being a heavy underdog.
Yep, ninth time in the last 13 Walker Cups that the United States takes the lead after day one into the second and decisive day. A reminder, coming up next, it is Golf Central. And then our coverage of this 48th Walker Cup, presented by Rolex, continues tomorrow. Once again, the lineup starts you off on Peacock at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, and then at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Golf Channel. That is the morning foursomes. There'll be 4 more foursomes matches to get things going on the second and decisive day. And then the 10 singles matches. Again, double coverage, first on Peacock beginning